Alrighty, here we go. Hey there, everybody. It's the Nasty One here again, and welcome back to the next episode of the Heated Shuffle Draft franchise rebuild here in Super Mega Baseball 4, year number 4. Last episode was the championship finals against the Grass Eaters, and we swept them, winning both games rather easily, and basically just falling one game shy of a perfect season by running the table in the playoffs without issue. So, with our second straight title under our belt, going into the offseason here for year number 4, this is where we might be hitting a tough spot with the roster, financially speaking, because a lot of these guys are very young, and they're going to want to, more than likely, if their loyalty's not high enough, ask for a boatload of money. And we don't have a boatload of money. We have $7.5 million in the bank right now, and if we use a majority of that to re-sign these guys, we're going to have to make some tough decisions and cut players from the roster. Now, who would I look to cut in this situation? I'm not 100% sure. Reese Hunter had a horrible regular season. Nothing went her way in that department, but in the postseason, she absolutely whipped ass, so it's a tale of two seasons for her. Let's see, who else struggled? Rangel didn't really do much in the postseason, but that's because we didn't need our bench in the postseason. She did really well off the bench in the regular season. Christian Nunez, who did struggle at the beginning of the regular season, came on and became an elite reliever in the second half of the year because he got a great trade upgrade. McConnell pitched really well despite her low ratings. Connor Moses didn't really do much. Stanley Swanson was injured for most of the season. Spitty Wyatt is over 30. Bambino is now over 30. He started to regress last season, but he hasn't regressed out of the A category yet. And who else? Perd Lovelorn is in his mid-30s, so he's going to hit regression sooner rather than later. Tiny DeGrande didn't really improve much as a backup catcher. And Sloop Whoopity also didn't do anything offensively during the regular season, but when he got tough out at the end of the year and used it in the playoffs, he was effective. So, we're in a tough spot. Now, this is a juggernaut team. Maybe nobody will want to leave and we just keep things the status quo. But I guarantee you not all 22 players here are going to not want a pay raise. So, let's jump in the offseason and see how bad this is going to hurt our budget. But here are the scores for those of you who wanted to know what happened in the finals. We won 10-5 and 7-2. It was never really close. Alrighty, let's see. Any but retirements? I don't see any retirements. Okay. Alright, so let's run down the list here and see who is worth the money and who is not worth the money. We'll start with the guys that are 100%. I'll work our way down. Okay. Alright, Arlo Floyd is worth 8.2. He's sitting at 7.9. He had a good rookie season. I don't see no reason not to keep him around. Let's keep him at his current price point. We're on the right side of that valuation thing, $300,000 under it. Tiny DeGrande, on the other hand, we are $1.1 million over what he is worth. He is now 28. He's going to be 29, I believe. Let me see. Where's Bambino? I can see if they aged. They have not aged yet, so DeGrande is going to go up to 29 years old here in the offseason. So he is just going to keep going down in valuation, and with us being 1.1 million over, I think we need to release him here. Not because he's upset or anything, but because we are going to need that money, I think, moving down the list. So let's go ahead and release him for now. We'll probably look to re-sign Tiny in the offseason, or maybe get another equal to player of his skill level. Charlie Testa, he is worth 9.8. He's not egregiously overpaid, so and Charlie hit really well this season, so I see no reason not to re-sign him. Rangel, okay, and then next to 100% is Spitty Wyatt. He's worth 8.3. He's going to be 31. He hasn't regressed yet. He had a solid year. I'm not sold on re-signing him, though. Granted, he was all-star level caliber play, but I'm not 100% sure on him just yet. Now, John King, Rookie of the Year, MVP. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer right there. So Spitty I'm not sold on. Stanley Swanson, he's worth 10.1. He's actually under what he's worth, and that's because he was hurt in the regular season, so he's not smartly not asking for any more money. Plus, he didn't hit a home run in his second season, so yeah. Okay, so we're on the right side of the numbers for Stanley. Bambino is a little over what he's supposed to be making. He's worth about 11.9. And he's been here since the beginning. That's the tough part with Jovic. I'm not sure if I want to resign him or not. This one's gonna be tough. I'll have to come back to him. Let's see. Moses is worth 7.2. Skip it. Come down. Terry Garza worth 7.4. He's already at 7.3. We're on the right side of the numbers for him. He had a fantastic rookie campaign. He had the lowest ERA in our pitching staff. So, yeah, no-brainer here. Norm, the fact that he is worth less than what he once scares me because he did regress in the regular season. He lost his elite fastball trait and he went down in some categories. So is paying him $1.1 million over what he's worth a smart decision? That's the question. Kendra Kerr, she's worth 12.4. She wants a pay raise. I think we can give her that. This was our most elite reliever last season whose ERA was a 1. Like, this one's a no-brainer. Mesa's worth 8.2. He's making 8.4. I'm gonna roll this. This is probably a risk one there. McConnell worth 5.1, making 5.3. Little over her price point, but that's fine. We'll keep her. Nunez is worth 4.3. He's asking 4.2. Okay, so we're gonna risk some of these for sure. But yeah, oh, we are gonna be in a tough spot here. Okay, Rangel, what are you worth? 7.6. She's asking for 6.9. I'm gonna roll this. I'm not gonna roll that actually. I'll come back to that. Whoopity, you're worth what, 10 million? You're making 8.9. Okay, this one I'm willing to roll. It's not that big of a difference. So let's see how this goes. He's got max loyalty. He should sign. Yes, there you go, Sloop. Okay, so he stays where he is. We're on the right side of the numbers there. That's a discount. Rob Glover worth 7.2. He's making 6.8. He didn't really play much, so I think him being on the roster right now is kind of a waste, especially since he's trying to take King's playing time. So Aiken, I'm definitely not bringing back. He just didn't do anything much this season, so I'm okay with letting him go and coming back and re-signing him in the off-season. Let's see. Cash Money stepped up big in the playoffs. Like, she did everything right in the playoffs. So I'm going to roll this one and see what happens here. This is an above 90%er. And she accepts it. Okay, good. All right. So far, so good. Connor Moses, making about what he should. I'll roll this one. This is a low risk one. This is 99%. Yes, okay. Awesome. All right, Brazon, what are you worth? 9.3. You're making 7.6. What did you do, CT? Well, you cut your ERA in half. That's a good start. You pitched more innings. Struck out the same amount of batters, though. Hits went down a lot. Your walks went down as well. You cut those numbers in half. Cut your home runs total down by 40%. And you threw less pitches as well. That's good. I think he improved from year 1 to 2. He's definitely on the right path, trending upwards. And I think he could be a viable number 2. I don't think he's ready to be the ace just yet. Reese Hunter making 6.9. She wants 7.5. All right, I'm willing. I've got Brazon. Do I want to risk this? I say yes. Let's risk it. Let's see what happens. And he accepted. Nice job, CT. See, keeping your players happy is the smart way to get the discounts here. So we have an almost $2 million discount on CT right now. Reese Hunter, she's making 6.9, worth 8.2. I'm willing to roll this one because Hunter, she had a bad third year. Like, this was her worst year by far. She finally hit a rough patch, but the offense kept bailing her out. What happened to her? She gave up a lot of home runs this season. That was her big problem. So I'm willing to risk this because it's a 96%er. I'm not willing to make a pay increase here. And she accepted it. So, yay. Keeping them happy was the smart move. All right, we're starting to run out of players here. Glover, I think I'll keep him where he is. I'm going to risk this one as well. It's above 90%. We'll see how this goes. He accepted it. Okay, Rob. Interesting. Okay, got a bench infielder. Love it. Okay, so that makes Lacey's spot on the roster a little redundant, but I'm not opposed to bringing her back. Bambino. See, Jovan, I'm in a tough spot here because I know he's regressing early. And he's worth, it's not egregious. Like, we can keep paying him this money because we only have 2 signings to make right now. But I think I'll come back to him and see how the rest of the team shakes out. Spitty's a little overpaid, yes, but it's not egregious. So I think we'll bring Spitty back. Why not? He didn't do anything bad this season. Yeah, he did. He did really well. Hit 484. Like, this was his best offensive year of his entire career. I can't complain with those numbers. Purge juiced. He was ready to go in that final game if we needed him. Let's see. Purd's worth about 9.4. He's making 8.2. All right, so Purd, here's where I stand with Purd Lovelorn. Let's have a look. So he came back down to earth after his MVP campaign last season. His ERA went back up to where it was. His whip is still in the same spot it was. He pitched less innings this year. He gave up a lot more hits. Same amount of home runs. He had a little bit more walks than the year before. Still struck out the same amount of batters, though. My thought is Purd is not going to get a lot better. He's probably going to get worse faster than he will get better. So I'm okay with rolling this and watching him walk than hiking up his price. So I'm going to roll this knowing it's below 50% and expecting him to say no. Yep, he walked away. Okay. All right, Purd, I'll see you on the other side, brother. All right, Thomas Mesa, he's worth 8.2, making 8.4. I'm not going to give him a pay increase. I'm going to roll this. This one he might walk because he's unhappy. But he does stick around good. We just need to remember to beef up Mesa's loyalty, and he'll be all right. So, good. We got him on a discounted price now. Little overpaid, yes, but he's still 21, so he'll improve. Nunez. Okay, Nunez, I want to roll this. If he says no, I will gladly re-sign Christian in the offseason. So let's roll this and see what happens. Yes. Okay, perfect. Good job, Christian. Okay. All right, so all that's left are Norm, Joven, and Lacey. Let's do Lacey next. She's worth 7.6, 169, so she wants to stay at a discount. Kind of want to roll this to see what happens. I think we can re-sign her in the off-season because we have Charlie Testa. He's not looking to regress anytime soon. So if we lose, I think we can use her max loyalty to our advantage and roll this. Let's see what happens. Yes, got it. Okay, we used the loyalty thing to our advantage. I think next off-season, Lacey is definitely going to want a pay increase, so we'll need to keep that in mind. So far we've gotten really lucky with a lot of rolls. Like, the only people I willingly released were Tiny and Angel. And Lovelorn was the only one who said no, so. Alright, so Norm, we don't want to pay him any more money. But he is 1.1 over what he's worth. So, there's no risk of him leaving. It is, do we want to keep paying him $17.5 million? That's the big question. While paying Joven $12.5 million. Because Joven has started to regress early. That's where I'm stuck in a hard spot with these two guys. Like, Norm right now, there's no doubt about that we want to keep just because of what he brings to the table as a great hitter, a great fielder, great pitcher. Joven's only going to get worse. I think until we see Joven's game drop off, I think we should just play it smart and re-sign him and just use the 3 roster spots we're open to signing. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we'll keep Norm and we'll keep Joven as well since they're both not asking for more money. That kind of worked out in our favor. So only 3 people leave the team here before the free agency. Purd Lovelorn, he rejected the contract offer. Angel Aiken we released because he didn't do anything off the bench, and he's kind of a wasted bench slot at this point. And Tiny DeGrande I also released as well because he was over what he was worth. So if we re-sign Tiny, that's all right. I'm not opposed to bringing him back. So Kendrick Kerr got the pay raise, which was smart. DeGrande was released. Lovelorn, he said no. And Aiken, he was released as well. All right, so retirements. Gasser Morris retires from the Sandcats. Max Texas, another reliever from the Sandcats, also retires. Okay. Yeah, small amount of retirements this year. Let's look at free agency. So we only have 3 spots that we need to fill on the team this year. That's actually pretty good. So Tiny was a competitive player, so we're down to 4. Aiken was also competitive. We're actually down to 3 on that list over there. And Loveland was scholarly, so we're down to 3 on that one. So we can't cut a disciplined player, we can't cut a scholarly player, and we can't lose one more competitive player. But for right now, everything is still in the middle tier there. All right, what do we got? All right, so, big name free agents, okay. All right, so looking at catchers, obviously there's Tough Lift, who has walked from the wide loads. He's 35. I'm not looking to bring in a veteran catcher, so knowing Tuft is going to regress despite how great his traits are, I'm going to pass. Boo Lewis, he's also 35. He's already regressing, so no. Tiny's the next best option, so we'll put a watch on Tiny here. The only other person I'd be considering here, rookie Talon Miles. 20-year-old, I kind of like how young he is. Marcus Esparza I'd also be willing to consider as well, being 21 and being a good fielder. That's kind of hard to come by with young catchers. And Hemming Vineman I'd also consider as well. 19-year-old rookie, fielding is up, arm is really good. He just can't hit. And he's got good speed for a catcher at 47. Now you may think speed being below 50 is not good, but for a catcher that's pretty freaking great. All right, so Esparza's coming off 2 years with the Grass Eater, so he was the bench catcher for them in the finals this season. He's got some contact in his bat. He also runs very well for a catcher. Arm is weak, though, so that's a little bit of a downside to him. I think Vineman has the edge there, although he does have the inside pitch trait. That's nice. Talon Miles, he is competitive. He has no traits. Is he a rookie? He is. Okay, so 2 rookies, 1 third-year vet. Moving down the list, I don't have a need for a first baseman. We could use a backup second baseman because we only have 1 on the roster. We have Whoopity, and I already have 2 shortstops in Glover and King. So a backup on this side might not be a bad idea. What we got? We have Harold Ortega, second base, third base. Like Whoopity, he can play second and third. Rally Starter and Mind Gamer. Ooh, that's some good traits on a player. I like it. Ortega, I like it. Okay. That's a good number right there. Keaton Blacksmith, Maggie Rags. And that's it, really. Only 1 second baseman. Huh. All right. We could also bring in a backup third baseman. We only technically have 1 on the roster, which is Spitty Wyatt, but we also have Norm Phenomenal, who can play anywhere in the infield, so he kind of fills that roster spot, if you know what I mean. So we have, who do we have? We have Cassius Anthony. He'd be an upgrade over Wyatt. Wyatt did nothing wrong, and I don't think we have the money to afford someone of Anthony's pay level. What's he want? 8.6? Yeah, I'm going to need to spend money evenly here, so. Looking at backup levels, there's Riley Bocce. 24-year-old rookie, power hitter, a good hitter, actually. She's got good contact, too. Got a great arm there, but she can't field. Definitely a bench player. Also, Newt Trevino. Okay, Butterfingers is a little bad. A little. But a good fielder, good speed, good contact. Just has no arm and no power. Definitely a work in progress. Ooh, Jolly Rocket left the Herbisaurs for free agency. Not looking for a bench shortstop here, so I'm going to let Angel Aiken test free agency. I just want to see where he ends up, who he gets signed by. And likewise, I'm also going to put a star on DeGrande, just because I want to see who he ends up signing with as well if we don't get him. I think I have him starred. I do. Good. All right, and then with having Norm on the roster really means we could also look for a 5th outfielder as well, because we were kind of handicapped in the outfield with the injury of Swanson last year. However, we do have Charlie Testa, who's a utility player. He can play anywhere in the field, so he can move out to the outfield with the utility trade he has. So let's see, who else we got? We have any young outfielders. We have Placido Porkman, power bat, and definitely not a fielder, but he's got a good arm on him. Okay. I'm intrigued. I don't know if I can afford him, but I'm intrigued. Rosie Hardman's still out here. Ooh, we have Nickel Henson, 29-year-old. Okay. A little on the older side of things. Not my ideal candidate for a signing, especially for a rookie, but I'm intrigued. There's also Blythe Macho Man. Ooh, solid name. She can't field. Decent average hitter. Below average speed. Average arm. Good traits on her. Fastball hitter and a righty. Okay. I can see her as a valuable option off the bench. Oh, Antonio Brown left the Herbivores as well. Ooh, they are losing a lot of players. Slash Trips is out here. See, Axe Moran, probably not going after someone that high rated. Dodson, no, I'm only looking for a bench outfielder, so. Yeah, and by that same logic, then, I won't go after Porkman because I'm looking for a bench outfielder, not a starter. Center fielder, obviously there's Ricky Kwan, who's basically just a fielder. He can't hit, but he's left the wide loads. Who else we got? We got Franklin Tucker. He's a utility player. Wild thrower is a bad trait. But contact for his righty, on the other hand, that helps out a lot because he's a weak hitter. Okay, I could see him coming off the bench. And then right fielders, bench outfielders, we have Carlos Duke. Rally starter. Okay, that's a solid trait. I like that. Rookie 19-year-old. Okay, we have Prince Friedman. Noodle arm is a bit disappointing on him. And then there's Turf Hudson. Not that low rated. Let's not go that far down the rabbit hole. And moving to pitchers, we only need one starting pitcher to sign for us this year. So our bullpen is completely intact. We just need one starter. Do we go for someone who's a bona fide ace? Maybe. But maybe not a high tier one. Maybe someone like an A-minus like Brantley Cuevas would be a decent signing for us. 21-year-old. He has no traits on him. Crafty pitcher. I like that. We have Durbin Holmes. K neglector and crossed up is kind of a bummer for him, but at the same time, still a young pitcher who we can get the traits off of if necessary. And there's a Dean Estes. He'd be a good signing for us just to replace Lovelorn. Crafty, elite four-seamer. He is stimulated as well. Kind of dumb to have stimulated on a starting pitcher because there's no guarantee he makes it to the 7th inning. Who else we got down here? We also have Roper Raskeller. We have Lovelorn here as well. I'm going to star him. I'm not probably going to re-sign Lovelorn. I think he's at that tail end of his height as a pitcher. Now it's going to be how far he's going to crash down to earth. Raskeller, no accuracy on him. Good junk baller. I like the pitch selection. Decent velocity. He's moldable. Work in progress. Who else we got down here? I don't see anybody else that I'd be willing to risk money on. So that's it for right now. I think that's all we'll star. Let's move on. All right, no signings in round 1. One signing in round 2. That was Immaculate Spectacular. He got picked up by the Overdogs. Okay. Holmes is a 10-6. He's worth like 9 something. Round 3. Okay. Round 4. And round 5. Alright, so nobody was signed for the first 5 rounds. So we'll need to make a decision on Durbin Holmes now because he was already a free agent before the off season. So he is worth 9.9. He's at his estimated value right now. Do we want to sign him with K neglector and crossed up? Not really. I'm not looking to probably bring him in with that trait hanging on him. I'd probably want to play it smarter and go for someone like Estes, who's a little bit of a discount over him, or Raskeller, who'd be a really cheap option as well. So I think we are okay letting Durbin Holmes be signed here. I don't think signing him here is the smart move. Other than that, I don't think we need to make a decision on anybody else. Definitely not Macho Man or Bocce. Definitely not Friedman based on their overalls, or Ricky Kwan. Yeah, I think we can go a couple more rounds here. Alright, couple roster moves. Freely to the Overdogs. Okay. Bender to the Pigs. Alright. Buffler to the Moonstars. Balls to the Overdogs. Poke Foster to the Overdogs as well. Okay, so Durbin Holmes did not sign. Interesting. No one was picked up there. Vander Hawkins released by the Blowfish for Brian Erickson, young third baseman, or a good third baseman who's 29. Really, so Durbin Holmes still hasn't signed after 10 rounds. Now I'm intrigued. What's he worth now in the... What's he asking for? He's down to 9.3. Okay, so it's not like he's going down a whole bunch. He's a little bit of a discount, but not by much. All right, so guys are getting a little closer to what they're worth right now. Rathskeller in particular. Estes is at 9.2. Lovelorns were near 9.4, so they're getting closer, but they're not as close as Rathskeller is. Cuevas is a little over what he's worth as well, so we're going to need to watch the pitchers here. It's almost time to have to make a decision. Moving to the other players. Grande at 7.9, he's getting close. Miles is getting close. Esparza's close. Vineman is also close. Ortega's not nearly as close, but he is under 1 million. Bocce's under almost at 0.5. So yeah, people are getting a little bit closer. So it's time to start paying attention to what they're actually worth here. All right, so there's Manny K's getting picked up by the Hot Corners. Vasquez, who left the Grass Eaters, she's going to the Crocs. Hanley Dexter is going to the Herbivores, though. Ooh, that's a good signing to make up for the loss of Jolly Rocket. Warren Yount to the Moose. Trips to the Bee-Wolves. That's not great, seeing him 3 times a year. Steamboat Wissell left the Grass Eaters. He's going to the Blowfish as well. Okay. So still nobody on our list got picked up, so let's go one more round here. All right, Bourbony to the Grass Eaters. That's a great signing. Christopher McGillies goes to the Grapplers. Okay. I think he was on the Wide Loads, or he was on one of our division rivals last year. I forget where. Ham Slamus, he's gone to the Nemesis. He left the Buzzards. Rallyo Vero to the Buzzards. Jolly Rocket is going to the Platypi. Great, so we'll see him 3 times a season again. Awesome. Hackliner to the Moose. Willard Wiggins to the Jacks. Antonio Brown going to the Jacks as well, so we'll see him once a year. Jeb Jumps to the Jacks. Long Ballo to the Moonstars. That's good. We won't see him anymore. He was on the Bee-Wolves last year. All right, so nobody got signed again. I need to check this money here. What are we looking at? So DeGrande's about where he should be. Miles is about where he should be. Esparza and Vineman are where they should be as well. So, do we want to spend the money on DeGrande, or do we want to get a traditional backup catcher and watch them grow alongside Floyd, making Floyd the de facto starter? Miles is solid. His arm's a little on the weaker side, but he's a solid player, and the chemistry trait wouldn't change between him and DeGrande. Esparza would add a scholarly player to the roster, but he doesn't have an arm. That's what worries me with him. And Vineman is already a great defensive catcher. So the only thing that worries me is his hitting. Okay. I think Vineman over Esparza. And I think I'm leaning towards either Miles or Vineman right now. I think we go one more round and see what happens. And then we make a decision next round for sure. Ortega's at 6.7. He's worth 6.3. I think we can get one more round out of him. Bocce at 6.6. Okay. He's worth 6.4. Trevino's at 4.8. Worth 4.5. I'm not re-signing Aiken. I'm just seeing where he goes. Nickel Henson. I don't know if we're going to buy him. 7.5 is a little bit too much money. Macho Man is at 5.2, worth 5 million. Okay, and she has good traits on her as well. Got to keep an eye on her. Ricky Kwan. I'm probably not going to sign Ricky Kwan. I think I just had him start because he looked interesting. I think we're going to go a little bit cheaper than that. Franklin Tucker, likewise. Probably the same thing. Wild Thrower kind of scares me on him. Carlos Duke. Okay, Rally Starter's a good trade. I like that. 6.5. Okay, 6.4. Yeah, guys are where there should be. Noodle Arm, I think, takes Friedman down, and I take Duke over Friedman. Okay, yeah. We won't make a decision just yet. Moving to pitchers. Alright. Raskeller's at what he should be. Okay. Cuevas is about where he should be, and Estes is a little bit over. So I like Estes's fastball trait. I don't like his stimulated trait. It's dumb. But if we sign him, that stimulated trait would be maxed out. But stimulated on a starter is kind of dumb because there's no guarantee I get Estes into the bottom of the 7th inning every game. Like, majority of my starters generally go about 6 innings, maybe 7 if they're lucky. Especially in a league where you pinch hit for the pitcher a lot in close games. So I think the smart play is taking the younger option in Raskeller and just working with him and developing him to a higher overall rating. So I think Raskeller's the play here. We're actually getting a discount on what Lovelorn was making last season, so no harm, no foul in this category. This is a smart decision, I think, in my... We get younger in the starting rotation. Brazon becomes the de facto ace, and then we have a 3-way battle for who gets to be the number 2 behind him. So I think Raskeller here is a smart play. We're going to get a little bit younger there in the pitching rotation. We're going to take Cuevas off. We are going to take Estes off, and we're going to see where Lovelorn goes. There weren't a lot of young starters this year, so this kind of made our decision really easy, all things considered. All right, so then we'll wait. We said we were going to wait one more round on the offensive side of things. So let's see what happens in round 13. We made our first roster move, though. It's Raskeller. Let's see. Cassius Anthony gets picked up by the Nemesis, the rookie third baseman. Rufus Sumar to the Wild Pigs. Wes Yogurt to the Nemesis. Ruby Green to the Platypi, so she's replacing Raffy Slaps. Seamerson replaces going to the Sirloins. Munstar resigns to the Jacks, her original team. Swirly Cutstiff to the Moose. Rodney Park to the B-Wolves, Ian Fielder to the Platypi, Charlie Best to the Hot Corners, Kitty Kaufman to the Wide Loads, Ray Molina to the Platypi, replacing Burl Chinning. That's a good signing right there. I like that move. Tough Lift to the Platypi, Brantley Cuevas goes to the Sawteeth, Durbin Holmes goes home to the Wild Pigs. Wild Pigs also get Mashed Taters. That's a good offensive upgrade there. Deuce Stacker to the Platypi, Perry Quaker to the Platypi, replacing Biff Noggin. Cecil Sawyer's going to the Platypi as well. Bax Bravo to the Jacks. That's a good young center fielder. And Doyen Stafford to the Sirloins. Okay. All right. No roster moves on the offensive side of things for us. All of our guys are still here. So DeGrande's at 7-3. Miles at 6-3. Sparza at 4-4. And Feynman at 4-7. Okay. All right. So, I'm not digging Esparza. Vineman I'm okay with. Miles, I do like Miles. He's a good fielder. He doesn't have the greatest arm. Vineman has him in the arm department. They're about the same fielding-wise. Same speed as a slight edge to Miles. Miles is a better hitter. So I think Miles is the more complete backup. He can also play the outfield for us in a pinch. That's nice. Vineman can also play first base for us in a pinch. Okay. And DeGrande, I love Tiny, but he just didn't bring enough to the table this season to warrant me re-signing him. And if we can get a discount on price, then I think we take the smart discount here. So I say we go low. And although I like Miles, I think I'm going to go Vineman here and take the even cheaper option, and using that to our advantage with player development funds. So I think Vineman's the play here. Competitive for competitive, there's going to be no change. We're just losing the traits on DeGrande. So we're going to see where Tiny ends up getting signed. And then the last move we have to make is the bench slot. Ortega's at 6'5" and 6'3". He has really good traits on him with Rally Starter and Mind Gamer. Who else we got? We have Riley Bocci, who has no traits on her. She's a young third baseman option. Trevino, another young third baseman. Butterfingers turns me off of him. So we'll drop him. Aiken, we're just seeing who picks him up. Henson is a little too expensive, so I'm going to let him get off the list. Machoman at $5 million is what she's worth. Okay, I like that. She's a definite really rough around the edges player for sure. Carlos Duke, I think he goes over Friedman here, so Duke has Rally Starter. That's a good trade. Always has been, always will be. This would put us out on the max level of crafty players as well. But we don't have a lot of crafty traits, unfortunately. We only have 4. I know Bad Jumps is 1. That's on Bambino. I don't think we don't have anybody with Wild Thrower. What are our crafty traits? There's no one with Stimulated. Reverse Splits. This would max out Nunez's reverse splits. Ooh, I just thought about that. That would be amazing. Oh my god, that would be awesome. That may have just sold me on this one. So 6/6, that puts me at what, 8 million exactly? We still gain $500,000. We'll have even $500,000 every week for player development funds. I like that. Macho Man, I think, is too much of a work in progress at this point, so she's out. Bocce, she doesn't really bring anything to the table. Not a great fielder either. Ortega. It's between Ortega and Friedman, I think, or Duke. It's between Duke and Ortega. Let's see. Ortega has... What do we got? Okay, so he can run. Can't really field. He has Rally Starter and Mind Gamer, which are nice. But they're not, like, great traits. Especially if you can't use them properly. He's disciplined. That doesn't really do anything for me either. I think Ortega gets edged out there by Duke. I think Duke is the smart play here. We're going to have 5 outfielders on the roster this year. And you know what? For once, I'm okay with it. Yeah. We're going to get Carlos Duke. We're going to max out our crafty players. And we're going to have a great time. Let's do it. With a little bit of a pay increase here, but we still, at the end of the day, gain $500,000 from last year's budget. We are at $8 million, and we got lucky because a lot of people didn't test free agency. We dodged a major bullet this offseason. All right, let's just see where these last 3 guys go, and then we'll sim to the end. There's nothing else to recap here, I think. All right, there's Estes. He goes to the Buzzards. Screw Lynn. Solid name. Porkman goes to the Crocs. So does Screw Lynn. Rosales. Murray Waters. Talon Miles gets picked up by the Sirloins. Okay. Mora to the Sandcats. That's a good reliever option there. Ed Bree to the Buzzards. Bean to the Sandcats. All Day to the Freebooters. Love that name. Bobby Odor to the Crocs, Frequent to the Wild Pigs, Vayner to the Salteeth, Paston to the Pigs again, Lapata to the Grass Eaters, okay. Tiny DeGrande is going to the Buzzards, so we'll see him once a year, possibly, if he's not the bench guy. Aiken is still a free agent. There's Mondo, Moran, Shania Burns replacing Huckenduck. Reyes to the Salteeth, Randy Mann to the hot corner, Swanson, long reliever to the Salteeth. Lovelorn's still a free agent as well, so we'll keep going. All right, Riley Bocce, who we were looking at, gets picked up by the Wideloads as a young third baseman. Clark, run to third. Israel Charles, Gaspar, Big Country, Crane, Bigsworth, Heimlich, Hooper, Lewis, Indier, Burgess. Ooh, Burgess left the Platypi? Ooh, he's going to the Sandcats. Good. I won't have to deal with him. Franks to the Wild Pigs. Goodwood. Franklin Tucker, who we were looking at for a little bit there, goes to the Wild Pigs. Ortega gets signed by the Sandcats. McLaughlin to the Salteeth. Pops and Dodson. So Aiken and Lovelorn still out there. And I see Aiken is still out there as well. There's Flusterer, Ganez, Izzy Baker, Prince Friedman, who we were looking at, ends up going to the Wideloads as well. Tubrick, Hardman, Ricky Kwan's going to the Moonstars. We were looking at him for a little bit. Slapper Glute, Finnegan's, Hudson at Dugout 5s. Rocket Ramon is released for Jacob Marshmallow. Lovelorn goes to the Wideloads, so we will possibly see him once or twice this season. He's on a division rival. Flubel, Yago, Esparza we were looking at ends up going to the Nemesis. I think he's going to be... No, Tiny's on the Buzzards. That's right. All right, so we're still waiting on Aiken to get picked up here. Thunderchump, Bergman, Flowers, Maldonado. Aiken is still a free agent. Buston, Borgnar, Jacobs, Armstrong, Bupton, Bowler, Spooner. All right. Molly Pops, Mindy Marshwater, Nickel Henson, who we were looking at for a little bit, goes to the B-Wolves. Dwight Breeze, Bruno Adama replaced by Whopper Batsman. Aiken is still a free agent. Still a free agent as well. There goes Gobelson going to the Salty, so he left the wide loads. No one there. And Aiken is still a free agent. Uriah Mason Adair off the sirloins for Winnie Noel. That's a good move there. Still a free agent. Boo Lewis to the Nemesis, replacing Marlon Moore. Jamie Hobbs to the Sandcats, replacing Cam Wheeler. Stanza to the Moose, replacing Ben Kringer. And Tarzan Woodbird released by the Grapplers for Kasha Emmon. Aiken is still a free agent. Still a free agent. Hogswin released by the Nemesis for Romeo Hutchinson. That's a good move there. Axel Hansen to the Wide Loads, replacing Betty Sparks. Aiken is still a free agent. Smack Avery to the Jacks, replacing Walt Huckster. Really? Is he not going to get signed? No way. Oh, Angel, I'm sorry, buddy. He just got snubbed. Let's scroll up. I'm gonna feel so bad if he didn't get signed. I really thought he was a young option that would get picked up. He did not get signed. Are you kidding? He's still out there? Yeah, he's still out there. Wow. Okay. Definitely a missed opportunity for some teams, I think, in my opinion. Like, he's a great bench fielder with good power. He could be a good power pinch hitter you need late in the game. Like, I'm amazed no one went after him. But we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to run through the list, and I'm going to go and star some young guys here on the list who we might want to look at later on down the season if they're still available. So there's Wilson. Macho Man is still out here, surprisingly. Okay. We have Trevino still out here. Rios, Wheeler, Woolmate, Biff Noggins, Novak, Mason Adair. Yeah, you know what? Huck and Duck, Butterfinger, and Heaves. Yep. Okay, we're good. Alrighty. Okay. Well. Alright, the offseason's done. First game for the season is going to be against the Crocodons on the road. So we are going to go to Whacker's Wheel. It'll be Brazone as our new ace, having been promoted. Looks like Reese Hunter earned the number 2 slot. Garza's still in the 3, and Raskeller, the rookie, will be the number 4. So we're going to have the Crocs first, then we play the Wide Loads, then we play the Buzzards. So it's a 3-game road trip to start the season. Come home to play the Jacks, go back out on the road to play the Platypi in a doubleheader. Play the Grapplers on the road as well. So it's 6 road games and 2 home games in the first half. We play the B-Wolves once. Then it's on the road. Then it's a home stand of 6 straight games. And then our final game is on the road. So we play the B-Wolves twice this year. Play the Grapplers 3 times. We play the Platypi 3 times as well. So B-Wolves twice, Grapplers 3 times, Platypi 3 times, and Wide Loads twice. Okay. Then we play each of the other teams once. Okay. Or no, we play the Crocs twice this year. Ooh, okay. We play the Crocs twice. All right. Okay. I see you. All right. Well, all right. That's free agency for you guys. So we'll just sim this one game we go through here. Runner-ups last year, the Grass Eaters taking on the Sandcats. And they rally and win in a walk-off style on Bergman's walk-off single in the 9th. So the Herbivores, unfortunately, start 1-0. All right, so next episode is going to be the beginning of the regular season here. It'll be Brazone and Sauter in the first matchup. Looks like our weakness, we took a step back in power hitting, it looks like. Contact is still great. Our speed and defense are still great as well. Our bullpen is where it was because it's the exact same bullpen we had last season. Power went down a little bit, and the rotation definitely dropped a little bit as well. So, but overall, I think we're still the same team as last year, basically. Our core is still together, and we're definitely going to be raising the ego next season with how well we did. So next season, opening day roster, here we go. Stop. Give John the respect he deserves, God damn it. All right, so it's going to be Whoopity leading off at second, Swanson in center, Phenomeno starting at third over Wyatt, Testa at first base, Bambino in right, John King. I had to manually put in over Rob Glover. He's at short. Basquet's going to start in left, and Floyd is going to be catching with Brazone on the mound batting number 9. So that means on the bench. So on the bench, we're going to have Rob Glover again, Connor Moses from last year's team, Spitty Wyatt, and Rangel. We'll also have rookie backup catcher Hemming Vineman and rookie right fielder Carlos Duke, who'll be an option as well. And then pitching rotation, it's going to be Brazone as the number 1. And then it's Reese Hunter at the 2, Garza at the 3, and Raph Skeller at the 4, the rookie. And then the bullpen is still the same as last year. Kendra Kerr, Thomas Mesa, Hank McConnell, Christian Nunez, and also Norm Phenomeno, who's a long reliever as well. Alrighty, I like it. So that's going to be next episode's lineup. So let's give you guys a quick recap of the offseason, then we'll move on. So in the offseason, here's the moves that we made. We ended up only losing 3 players in free agency. 2 of them I decided to cut myself because DeGrande was overpaid. Angel Aiken didn't do anything last season for us, and I could fill up his spot with someone who's actually going to play. And then we also cut Perd Lovelorn, who was aging and wasn't going to accept the cheap salary we offered him. So we re-signed everybody from last year's team. So King, Sloop Whoopity, Spitty Wyatt, Sonny Swanson, Thomas Mesa, Yovan Bambino, Norm Phenomeno, Hank McConnell, Connor Moses, Kendra Kerr, C.T. Brazone, Rob Glover, Terry Garza, Christian Nunez, Cash Basquet, Reese Hunter, Arlo Floyd, Lacey Rangel, and Charlie Testa all come back from last year's team. And we add 3 new faces, all of them rookies, to the roster. We have a new 5th outfielder option. Carlos Duke can play the corner outfielders. He's also a crafty player, which boosts up our crafty traits to max. So Christian Nunez's reverse splits gets even more nuts. But Duke is a solid player. He's a good contact hitter off the bench. He's got decent speed. He's got a decent arm in right field. He's not a great fielder, but he's not horrible either. And his power is already at the average mark as well. He also has rally starter, so we could use him in a pinch off the bench. And then moving to the backup catcher position, we have rookie Hemming Vineman. He's a great fielder. He's got a good arm on him as well. That could be developed even higher. The only thing he doesn't really do well is hit, and he also runs pretty well for a catcher. So he's a young guy to grow alongside Floyd. And then the other option, our new other third signing, it is starting pitcher Roper Raph Skeller, the rookie 21-year-old. He replaces Lovelorn in the back end of the rotation. He has no accuracy on him, but he's got a great junk and decent velocity to go with a decent pitch mix as well, 2 fastballs, a curveball, and a slider. So already at a good starting point for this beginning portion of his career. But that is the offseason, and at the end of the moves, we actually gained $500,000, as you see in our budget up there in the top right corner. We're now up to $8 million. So after every game, we're earning $500,000. Speaking of that, is there anything I can buy right now? There is. We can already buy one for Vineman. Also could gets ahead on Nunez as well. Hello, wait a minute. Curveball, we're not losing the curveball trait. Nope, we're keeping that on Mesa. Ignore. Crossed up Haraskeller. I don't think that's worth it. I really don't think that's worth it. Contact and fielding boost for Basquet. That would be lovely. Okay, I like this one. This one's good. Not as good. Not as good. That's good as well. So's this one. And there's nothing up here yet. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to earn more money in between games now, and our team is pretty much left intact, so we'll be running through the league again and earn our 3rd straight title. Tune in next time to find out, as it's opening day for us in Year 5. If you made it this deep in the video, guys, thanks so much for sticking around. I appreciate the support as always. If you haven't already, hit the follow and or subscribe buttons down below here on Twitch to be notified next time I go live. And if you haven't already over on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Link to Twitch will be down in the description below if you guys want to come over and watch the games live before they're posted. And also follow me over on this platform as well if you so choose. I'll catch you on the next episode, everybody. Until then, this is the Nasty One, signing off. Have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you guys may be.